Hi, and welcome to another Zimplex podcast. We have a really special guest today. We've got Lynette here with us. She's a sister and she's going to tell us a little bit about her story. Lynette, can you tell us about your background, your story, and your work, please?
Thank you. I'm Lynette van Onselen. I'm the clinic director at the Healthy Mom and Baby Clinic. Married, beautiful kids. So for me, it's important that family needs to be healthy and safe. And the Healthy Mom and Baby is able to do that for other families, to empower mothers to do what is best for them.
And how many years of experience do you have, Lynette?
25, 30 years. So.
And how many babies have you delivered?
Too many. I can at least count of 40, but there was many others.
That is amazing. And let's take it to the basics. So can you maybe give us some tips in terms of nutrition for pregnant moms?
Yeah, it's very important that a mom needs to have a healthy, balanced meal. As far as possible, we do supplement as well. But for me, a healthy meal with your veggies, your fruit, meat, some carbs, not too much fats, not a lot of takeaways, things like that is very important. Moms can develop diabetes much easier in pregnancy than not in pregnancy. So it's very important not to overindulge in chocolates and things like that. I've had moms that said to me, my child wants chocolates, meaning the one that's still inside. I said to her, no, I think it's you.
That's called gestational diabetes, right?
Yes.
It's like it happens during pregnancy. Is there a specific trimester that you're more likely to develop it than others?
Yeah, we start screening here at about 24 weeks. So that's about 6 months. Usually before that, you don't see it yet.
Okay.
If you do see it before, we have an indication that it might have been there just underlying that the mom didn't know about it.
Okay.
Yeah, so it is important that we need to focus on that. But from my first visit, when I have a mother with me, I already say stop all sugars as little as possible. If you want a chocolate, buy a small one, or in my house, you buy a slab. Take one piece and then it's gone.
That's not going to work.
Yeah. my family, it will just, the other people will take it. I don't need to finish the chocolate.
That's good. Tell me, what about, for example, the nutritional needs during the trimester? So we talked about gestational diabetes in the second trimester, I would say during 6 months. Is there a specific time during pregnancy where maybe we need more iron, maybe we need more this or something like that?
Yeah, we just don't focus too much on vitamin A, D, E, and K right in
Absolutely.
the beginning of the pregnancy. So not to eat a lot of liver and things like that. But I want to say throughout the whole pregnancy to eat healthy is important.
100%.
Yeah.
And do you have any tips for moms that are really focused on maybe a natural delivery, although sometimes a cesarean section is out of our control, but to prepare for a natural delivery as best as possible?
Yeah, the biggest thing for us is we always focus for natural. Cesarean is a good backup in case there's challenges. To exercise, but not to go to the gym suddenly and start running and whatever. It is continue with the exercise that you were busy with. If you did strenuous exercise, just discuss it with your health practitioner to make sure that you don't. There is some exercises that are dangerous, like a sit-up. You can't do that in pregnancy anymore. So any exercises that goes in the same direction.
I suppose with weights, you would also have to be very careful. No weights at all.
Yeah, as your pregnancy progresses, you do less weights. So that includes in the house as well. If you've got a toddler, in the beginning, the toddler can be picked up right in the beginning, and then slowly but surely you can't pick up anymore. Then we advise that the child gets up on your lap while you are sitting. I mean, you can still cuddle your child, but not to pick up the child. Washing, you can pick up a small basket, but not a massive basket. And slowly but surely you'll get someone to literally go and carry it to the washing line for you, and you just hang it up, because that we can still do.
That's very interesting.
But to continue with walking is very important. To have sleep. Good sexual behavior is also important. So a healthy body in total is important.
Absolutely. I mean, the exercise is good to oxygenate yourself, but it also supports the oxygenation of the baby. So that's also good for them. And that will also relax them, I suppose, in utero.
No, it gets the baby in the right position. So if we just sit, it's painful. If you just stand, it's painful. So a little bit of sit, a little bit of stand, a little bit of walk is always good. But just to go and walk around the block, depending on how big the block is, just around the block is good for just getting oxygen again, and also for your mood. Remember, there's extra hormones, there's extra frustration, tears, whatever. So it is good to just get out and just breathe again. In total, that is good for you.
That is wonderful. Sister, like sometimes we hear about dates and teas and things like that. Does that actually help prepare us for labor, or?
Okay, so things like dates and pineapples, and that is good while you're in labor to help to have good energy while with your contractions, and
right. You need to keep your energy up while you're in labor.
But it doesn't help you to go into labor. No, there's a lot of tips and things in the market and things that people say, and sorry, it doesn't work. So if you're over your time, I want to say prayer works better. It's not because it's your last resort, it's your best resort.
100%, completely understand. Thank you for that. So it's been really insightful. Walking, healthy diet, staying calm, like making sure you're happy. So that's why the exercise is good there. Healthy sexual behavior is there. The oxytocin also helps to support the mom. Yeah. So let's say we had a wonderful delivery, we had a natural delivery. Now we need to get our baby to latch.
Okay.
Any tips on that? Because that's quite a stressful thing for a lot of moms, myself included. I hadn't my baby latched immediately because I did skin on skin after I gave birth. Yeah. Even though I was a C-section, but I was very insistent on the skin on skin, and he latched very quickly. But then afterwards I struggled for some reason. It's almost like I was overthinking it too much. Do you have any tips?
That's the thing. Moms that are more relaxed in nature often breastfeeds better, just because the child feels the mom's anxiety, if I can call it like that. It doesn't even have to be that bad, but
just nervousness, even
exactly,
like
and this tenseness of, okay, I have to get this done and I have to get it right, and all of that focus, the child feels it. So we have found our mommies that are usually late for their appointments and that are very relaxed on how they manage their pregnancy. They are the ones that usually breastfeed the easiest because they don't stress so much about it. So I want to say, number one, try to relax as much as possible. Put yourself in a quiet environment when you breastfeed. Number one, the child will be distracted if there's a lot of sounds and things. Skin to skin is absolutely essential. So as soon as a Caesar or normal birth, we try to put the baby on the mom's skin. Number one, the child is reassured because he still hears mommy's heart. Number two, the temperature is maintained of the baby. They can immediately start with bonding, and the baby crawls up to the breast.
That's what happened
exactly.
to me. I was very amazed because this newborn child is basically wiggling across my chest like he knew instinctively what to do.
Exactly.
And I'm still figuring out how to hold him.
Yeah, but especially after a Caesar, it's difficult.
But he was teaching me.
Exactly. And that's what the main focus of Mom and Baby Clinic is to show a mom what is in your body knows already what to do. Your baby knows what to do. So during labor, it's not just the mom that's working. The baby is also working. The baby is helping to go through that passage because it's not a drop through. It would have been easier. But yeah, so it slowly but surely the pregnancy progresses as how the head goes through the pelvis. And that baby is tired when he is born or she's born. So as soon as the delivery is finished, you put the baby here, the baby will rest just as much as the mom. Sometimes we've had it that moms will sleep with the baby there while we're still busy cleaning up and everything else because you're tired after the process. And slowly but surely then the child will do the crawl and then starts seeking for the nipple and latch by themselves. They often don't even need help, but we do assist them just to make it easy.
Amazing. So it's a very good, like, trust your body, trust your body, trust the process, relax. It's the most natural thing in the world. We don't really need to overthink it, although I think all of us will.
Yeah, but that's why we do classes at the Mom and Baby Clinic before the time, so that you know what to expect. what is possible, what is good and what is not good for your baby. What positions can you give birth in? How to breathe when you are in labor. So there's a lot of things that we do cover. So it is important if someone want to have information, please don't look at videos how to go in labor, and because I've had people that watched movies and got so fearful of labor that they were like trembling when they got back to me. I said, no, we have a antenatal class. It's like a pre-birth class. We don't watch other people in labor. No, that's going to put you off. And I want to really advise, go to a class that they can get you and your partner to
100%.
understand what's going to happen. Because what I often say to my parents is, if the father is anxious because he's got no idea what's going to happen, his anxiety goes over to the woman. And if she feels unsafe or stressed or fearful or any of those, all the hormones that's supposed to kick in labor doesn't kick in properly. So adrenaline and cortisol is your two hormones that is secreted when you are anxious and stressful. But your hormones that you need for labor is oxytocin, and you need endorphins.
Wow, so you need to feel good for labor.
It's basically like an orgasm. Sorry, that's the closest to explain it.
That's
why
interesting.
mums are crying when they see their baby. It's exactly the same hormone that is excreted. And that's why mums bond with their children immediately, is that loving feeling that comes through. And endorphins is the one that if I break my leg, I can actually straighten my leg, walk to a place of safety. So you can understand how strong endorphins is. That is excreted while that last part of your labor goes in. And we've had women that when they are in labor, just by breathing exercises and keeping them calm and the environment calm around them, it looks like the mom is asleep while she is pushing. And then when she come back after the labor, you will see she's slightly dazed because that endorphins dose you. We don't like to do episiotomy. That's when you cut to just expand the space a little bit that the heat can come through. But in the past, we've seen that even if you cut, that mother doesn't know about it.
Oh,
That's
wow.
how much the endorphins takes her away. So why not use everything that is in your capacity to handle a labor well, instead of going through all these pains. I've had where the woman scream and the husband and the wife fight, and that is not conducive, and she feels every pain.
That is so interesting. I think I've just learned incredible amounts.
No, you can labor again.
I hope to. God willing, I really hope to. So, and I was a C-section, and I would love to try to be a natural birth. So we can talk about that later. I think a lot of women will relate to that. But I want to discuss that idea of how much your environment affects your emotions as a mom, and how that actually affects your hormones and your entire pregnancy. So I think, do you have any tips for moms to connect with their partners? Aside from the antenatal classes, what can they do at home with their partners to prepare for this glorious moment that can either go really beautifully or can maybe not
go south?
Can go south,
Yeah. So what is very important is learn the communication before the children come. Okay, so it is important when you get home, have a nice cup of tea together, put the electronics off. Have a 15 minutes couch time, talk to each other, hear how was your day. Because if you don't start that habit, by the time the children are in the house, it's going to be chaos when you get home. And then you can't create new habits then. So it is important that parents need to discuss how their day was, but also figuring out what is love languages. So if my love language is quality time, it doesn't help you giving me gifts because it's not going to tick my boxes. So it is very important that learn to know your partner. We have, with our family and at work as well, we've done personality tests because then I know what you like and what you don't like. And I'll try and focus on the stuff that you do like. And people that likes to be organized and sufficient and everything, I give them those tasks. So if your husband doesn't like ticking boxes, don't give him the jobs. He shouldn't do the accounts then, you can do it then. So it just makes life easier.
So true. Simple advice often goes the longest way, and learning each other. I think that's really important.
It is absolutely important.
Because otherwise you're going to be talking across each other, not really connecting. So that's wonderful. And I think preparing that way will keep you calm. And when that moment comes, you know how to communicate. So that's
Absolutely.
awesome.
So something else I want to add is
Yes.
I explained to my parents, you're going to get a lot of advice, especially first pregnancies. And some advice is great. Doesn't say it will work for this child. You might just file it for the next child. Some advice is like, I'm not sure. That you go and ask a health professional. And then there's other advice that is like, no, that we don't do. Like aspirin. You're not allowed to give for children under the age of 12. Especially now we're going into infection season in the sense of chickenpox and mumps and all of those. All of those diseases don't want aspirin close to it. So
it's very interesting.
If a child's got a fever and the granny sees that the child's got a fever, they give aspirin and they put it in Vaseline and they put it in the anus. So this one is dangerous because it actually can burn the anus. Okay, so those are one of the advices that we will say no. But now you have to decide, is this person going to take care of my child at some stage in life? If it's a neighbor or someone else, choose your battles wisely.
I hear what you're saying.
You don't have to change everyone's minds. If it's your nanny, your mother, grandmother, someone that's going to take care of your child or children, take it like a slow breath and a good environment and choose the time that you're going to say. And the sister or the doctor get us in trouble.
I have.
Yes. Yeah. Just name drop and say it's her fault, but says under 12, the age of 12, children should not use aspirin. So she has advised that we rather use paracetamol. We've got it in the house. Please do not use this. But don't attack every fight because there will be a lot, and how to co-sleep or not co-sleep, and to breastfeed and bottle feed and all of this. You don't have to fight that battles with everyone, but you and your husband need to have consensus about it and discuss these things prior to the baby's coming. What is my idea of where should the baby sleep? And try and figure it out, because when you add a braai, and suddenly one of the women says to her husband, but are you going to co-sleep? And he's like, no. And it's like, okay, immediately there's a look between the husband and the wife. It's like, no, we didn't discuss this. This is not our plan. Make sure that those critical conversations has been done, or just say to each other, listen, if there's a conversation that comes up and we haven't spoken about it, just smile and wave and we can sort it out at home. Because especially when you're in a family setting, that causes a lot of stress.
Can get heated very quickly.
Very quickly.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I'm a co-sleeping mom, and my child is 2, and he probably will stay in my bed for a long time. And I've experienced a lot of negative, I think, social expectations and this. And I've just decided that I don't always need to disclose my personal family habits.
Exactly.
To people. So I keep that and I think as it's one of the biggest lessons I've learned, like that this is actually my family, my husband and my child, and what we do together, nobody really needs to approve or disapprove of, is what works for us. So I've started to not have to be 100% transparent all the time, because people don't always have to understand. My child is happy, my child is healthy.
Exactly.
Hitting his
You
mouth.
sleeping at night.
I really am.
Exactly. And that is mostly important. So we were talking about psychological space of the mom and her well-being. If you don't sleep well, your happy hormones don't charge. So melatonin, serotonin, and oxytocin, dopamine, sorry, got my friends wrong. So your 3 happy hormones only charge when you sleep. So if you don't sleep well, you've got challenges. So if the baby is sleeping in another room and now you have to go and console him first in bed, and then you have to take a bottle, and then this, somewhere in the night you're not sleeping well. And I was working for the Department of Health at that stage. I needed my sleep fully. And I just pulled them into the bed. My husband says it's still my fault that they're sleeping late in the morning, because if they got up at 4 in the morning, I just pulled them into the bed again. And I said, now we sleep. And now they like sleeping late. So no, I'm not going to jump out at 5 o'clock in the morning. But there is kids that do wake up like that. But it is literally each family and parents' decision. I just don't like that habit where they say the first night that the child goes home to put them in their own room and they scream until they realize that no one is going to come. For me, that is some behavior that I don't like.
Sleep training.
Exactly. There's different types.
Right?
No, there's different types of sleep training.
Yeah.
But this is the extreme one, and we try to avoid that as far as possible. A child needs to know that you are there. And we say 9 months here, the 10th month, the child is here. The child is used to your heart rate, is used to your breathing, used to you speaking when he's sleeping. So it is important that you maintain that support and love.
That connection, that closeness.
Exactly, yeah.
And don't not destroy it, but like put a lot of distance between you and your child, I suppose at that time doesn't really think he's separate from you.
There is a certain time, a certain age that the child, if they don't see you, they think you're gone. You're not outside the room. You're not somewhere else. They literally feel that you're gone. It's like below the age of 6 months.
Oh, okay.
And you will see that they will scream their head off because they think you're gone. I've lost my mother. So that is why it is important. And in the beginning, children can't see far. So for them, this part is the most important. So face to face with your child, not the cell phone and the child. Because we get that a lot.
True.
And to look at your child, because this is how far the child can see. And that's, why they quickly start with mama. Because mama is the whole time in the face. And it is important to have your child there and talk to your child, even if you know this child does not understand. The more you talk to the child, the quicker he or she will respond back. And very quickly pick up language and communication, and don't do baby language. I learned a couple of languages in my life, and sometimes people will teach you, let's go like sweet words in between that's got no meaning in that language. And then later on, when you want to do the language properly, you have to learn the language again.
Oh, I understand.
Okay, so exactly the same happens with baby language. Ooga, goo, 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 goo. That's got no meaning. So you're wasting space where this child can learn a word. 100%. Mama loves you, later it's got meaning. Although the child, ooga, goo, goo, at the beginning sounds exactly the same, but they learn a language much faster.
That's very interesting. Talking about languages, do you think children can learn more than one language at the same time? Because there's a lot of mixed opinions about that, and we have more than one language in my family, so it's
great. Get a couple of more. Because a child can pick up a lot of languages. There is theories of up to 7 languages at the age of 3.
Wow.
But you speak pure English, the next one speaks Afrikaans, the next one speaks Xhosa, the next one speaks this, and have the language pure.
Don't mix them.
Yeah, not like typically South African. We mix all the languages in one message. And the challenge is the child then picks up mix. But if they have a specific language, we've got kids at the clinic where they speak Afrikaans to this one and English to this one. And the mom and the dad, it's decided, I will only do English and I will only do Xhosa or however.
That's very interesting and it's wonderful to know. So we have so many questions. I think it's so wonderful to sit with you. So I want to go back to that idea that we've just delivered. We've successfully latched now. We've made it through the first 3 months. We understand, like if we have a colic baby. Oh, there we go. If we have a colic baby, what advice do you have for us?
Number 1 is don't over-medicalize colic. So colic is diagnosed by a doctor and preferably by a doctor, not to go to a pharmacy or just to get a friend to give you some medication. So, but there's few and far between that the children actually have colic. Kids have gas. And I always joke and say the gas is trying to figure out where's the map. Is it going up or is it going down? And
it's a good way of putting it.
No, and it's literally like that. And the thing is, sometimes we think the child's got constipation because they are like bright red in their face when they're pushing, and what comes out is like super soft. So there's no reason to overreact like this. So the stomach gets used to the system for working. Remember, inside the womb, the stomach wasn't working. Mm-hmm. Okay, so slowly but surely the gas will find its ways up. So number one, all these medications, antacids that they use or try to advise that moms use, don't. So the only children that we do give like probiotics is a cesarean section baby.
It worked really for my son quite a lot. The moment I introduced probiotics, it was a game changer for me.
It is important that a baby needs to go through the vagina. It picks up the last of the microbiome through the vagina. So it's absolutely important that a normal delivery, if it's not normal, then we have to introduce the probiotics. But what is important is not to give a lot of medicine for your baby. The other thing is also on the skin of the baby, not to use a lot of products. So the new way, it's been a long way, but luckily now everyone in the community is realizing that you don't have to wash your baby immediately. I remember when we were in hospital, you have to, as soon as the baby is born, you have to wash the baby. And I studied in Tygerberg, and they started with a new thing. You don't wash a baby for the first 7 days. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So yes, if there's like chunks of blood and whatever, that you can take off. But it is important that there's like a wax layer on the baby. You have to rub that into the baby's skin. That is absolutely amazing stuff. And you want that inside the child, not to wash it off and then to put all these non-natural products on top of the baby's skin to try and fix what you've already washed off.
Which brings me to another discussion, because I think the skin of our children in those first 3 months goes through so much, and what are some things like, first let me ask you this, is cradle cap normal? Does that happen to a lot of kids? Is that something that we need to freak out about? How long does it last?
It's because of the washing that we are causing cradle cap.
Oh, okay.
So a baby's skin is super sensitive, and especially in the beginning, it is everything can go in and everything can go out. So understand, if you put a lot of products, we've got sometimes that people put medicines inside the Vaseline. So when they put it on, that medicine is actually going into the child. So we don't want that. And even on our skins, if you put a lot of chemicals on your skin, it actually absorbs into your body.
Yes.
So that's why we really need to look what we put on. We wash babies with olive oil and with coconut oil. And we used to take like cotton wool and just rub the child off. And this is day 4, day 5. So, and when you start with your baby, to wash your baby, it's like aqueous cream or coconut oil in the water, and you just wash with that. No soaps. So as soon as you bring a soap or a shampoo that's soapy.
We're talking about like young babies, less than 1 year of life. Or,
yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the longer you can keep a child without soap, the better. Because it's just you maintaining the natural skin protection.
The natural barrier of the
skin. Exactly. So it's very important we don't use all of these products on a baby. And cradle cap is when the skin is trying to protect itself. And we're getting a lot of eczema on babies as well, because the skin is irritated with this allergen that's on the outside. So we usually say to moms, no petroleum jelly, no baby oils, no soaps. Anything that makes a bubble when you put it under the tap is soap. So there's a lot of products, baby friendly, baby safe, baby soap free, and I can promise you, if you put them through a chemical test, it will not last.
That's why they say like glycerine is so nice, because glycerine is very gentle, it doesn't foam anything. So if you want to look for a little soap out there, maybe a glycerine that is not foaming.
Exactly.
Ideally. That's very, very interesting, sister. So thank you so much. we've got more questions. We're not quite done with you. I'm going to keep going. I want to keep asking her questions. So, sister, so we're talking through the first 3 months of life. We've successfully latched with the baby. We're getting to around 4, 5 months, 6 months when we need to start introducing solids. Any tips on what is the best vegetable to start with when you're doing solids?
I want to make a joke and say avocado because it comes out quickly and you get it back in quickly. So Joyce Meyer used to say that when the child spits it out, you put it back and it spits out back. By the 10th time, the child will keep it in. So children naturally want to get it out, and slowly but surely their mouth gets used to the taste and the structure. And especially with our breastfeeding babies, they are full of nonsense what you put in their mouth, meaning they've had top quality up till now.
And they say breast milk is very sweet and it's delicious and all of this.
I don't think so. I've
never tasted it. So
no, neither have I. But it doesn't taste like cow's milk. One of my colleagues breastfed and she used to express at work. And one of our friends or colleagues decided to drink some of the milk. He thought it's just his colleague's milk, meaning that she brought for a coffee. So he said it doesn't taste like cow's milk. So we had tremendous laughs about it.
That must have been hilarious.
Yeah. But then after that, she used to label breast milk even when she wasn't breastfeeding anymore, because then no one stole her milk anymore.
I think I might try that.
No, they will leave it alone, I promise you. But it doesn't taste like cow's milk. So often people will say, I stopped breastfeeding because my breast milk is salty. It is nonsense. It doesn't taste like cow's milk, so we can't expect it to taste the same. Sometimes it looks like dishwashing water. Sometimes it looks
like
No, you've got too much soap in yours. It's like that white, like see-through.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. The breast milk comes in all sorts of different colors.
Exactly. Some looks like condensed milk and sticky like condensed milk. So, and later on only it started becoming white. But even if you leave it in the fridge, it's like a blue, whitish. It doesn't present like cow's milk. And people shouldn't think that it should look like cow's milk. We're not cows. We don't have calves. It's as easy as that. So breast milk in the beginning, so let's start right in the beginning, is watery. So that is the colostrum.
Right.
That stuff you can't get in a tin. Doesn't matter what they do, that has not been replicated yet. So with our preemies that we work with, we harvest that from the mom to get it to the child because that boosts the immunity, tremendous. And many moms will say, no, I pumped out that watery stuff before. And I said, no, with that watery stuff you want, that's like liquid gold.
Yeah, that colostrum, right?
Exactly.
It's very important for the gut health, immunity.
Absolutely, for everything. And it just boosts that child. So that's the one that we focus on the most. And then obviously the milk only kicks in at day 3 for a second pregnancy and day 5 for the first pregnancy.
I didn't know that. It happened to me at day 5 and I was panicking.
Because you are fearful. You're seeing this watery stuff, but you're not seeing food. And your child is sucking the whole time. And you think it's because your child is not hungry. It's a supply and demand situation.
Yeah.
So basically, the more the child is demanding milk, the more the breast will supply. So important is every time the child wants to suck, leave him, let him or her suck to motivate the breast to make more milk. As soon as we put a water bottle or a medicine bottle or formula in between, then we mess up that whole cycle. So a child doesn't need anything except for that breast milk right in the beginning. And like a teaspoonful of colostrum is a feed.
That's also what I learned, because at the end of the day, they're just born and their stomachs are really tiny.
They are this big for the first 2 days.
So a little bit, you're thinking, your child's not getting enough, but that's exactly what they need.
Day 7, the stomach is this big.
Wow, that's so interesting. So we've done breastfeeding. We're making sure we got the colostrum in there. We've got the 6 months and...
Oh, yeah, we are with the first feeds.
The first solid feeds.
Yeah, so we start with vegetables. So avocado, butternut, beans with a little bit of potato in or anything like that. And slowly but surely, but you quite a lot in the beginning. And as you progress until 1 year of age, use it a little bit less. By 1 year, it needs to be just with a fork. So that the child gets used to chunkiness and
textures and things
exactly.
like that.
And we don't start with porridges right in the beginning. That was the old way. So I want to say the new way is vegetables and then a little bit of fruit, because if your child eats fruits too early, they actually just want that sweetness of the fruits. Yeah.
Right.
But I used to play with my kids a little bit of nacho, a little bit of grape.
Mango, grape.
Yeah, just that they can get the taste.
Wonderful. And so we've got, when do we need to start solids? Because they say from 6 months you can start introducing solids, but then there's a lot of moms that only breastfeed for the first year of life. What is your advice on that?
Now, we are taught from 6 months and preferably not before. Yeah, because there is some people that push the rule when the child starts looking at you when the food goes closer. Then you must start introducing solids, and often that can be at 4 or 5 months, and that's too early because the stomach is not mature yet to handle solids. And that's often that we get, people call it colic, although colic is the first 3 months of of the newborn. But at 5 or 6 months, or 4 and 5 months, they will suddenly start with all these gastric issues and wanting medicine like colic drops and things like that. And in the end, it is actually just because the solids were started too early.
That's very, very interesting.
Yeah.
Oh, sister, could pick your brain all day, really. I think I'm just skimming the surface of all the questions out there of like new moms, of even. I have one child. I'm hopefully hoping for another one, and I still have so many questions. So I just want to sum things up in terms of the first year of life of your child. What would you say are and I know this could be difficult, but what would you say are the 3 most important things in that first year of life?
Play with your child, talk to your child, sleep with your child, spend as much time as possible. I remember I took my maternity leave for 6 months because I tried to stay as long as possible at home. Many moms feel inadequate because they are a stay-at-home mom. That is the best job you can ever do, because that is the next generation. And no one can build into your child what you can do. So it is important the whole family needs to be together. Talk to your child, play with them. They don't need toys. You will see in the beginning, you buy this massive toy and they play with the box. And then you think the thing that got out of the box was very expensive. It's actually the box. They want to play in things. So it is important to spend good time together, healthy food, good sleep. I'm not heavy on routines, but just routines that the baby have a good sleep. Because if they have a nap in the middle of the day and they sleep at a proper time, then there's not chaos at 5 o'clock at night. Because that's the one that if the child didn't have a nap during the day, it can really get hectic at 5. So make sure that your child gets a nap. And if you can, take the nap with. Because then you're also strong, not just this supercharged baby that's running around again. Because that happens.
Oh, wow. Thank you, Sister Lynette. You've been absolutely wonderful, so insightful. Thank you for sharing your 20 years of experience of bringing healthy children into this world. So we really appreciate it, hey? Thank you so much.
Very nice
Guys,
meeting.
tune in for the next podcast. So thank you for participating. If you have any questions or comments or concerns, or you'd like to add, please leave it at the comments below or inbox us, anything. Remember to follow us on social media. And sister, could you tell us the name of your clinic again, just in case there are any listeners out there that would like to send some donations to participate in the work that you're doing before we tune out?
Thank you very much. It's the Healthy Mom and Baby Clinic in Jeffreys Bay. Thank you.
Thank you, sister. Bye.
Bye.
That was amazing. I love that.